This is my favourite time of year. Super abundant. Hello, and welcome back to Fieldstudy, an exploration into the wild food of the British Isles. Today I'm going to teach you how to identify one of the easiest edible mushrooms that we have here in the UK. So if you are a complete beginner, if you've never foraged for mushrooms before, this is a good place to start. It is October, the nights are starting to get colder, and here in this mixed woodland on the Isle of Wight, the hedgehogs are starting to make an appearance. Look at this! So here underneath this oak tree growing from the leaf litter is one of my favourite edible mushrooms. It is one that is very popular over in France. They have a different name for it, but we call this the hedgehog fungus, and I'll show you why in a minute. So we are definitely in autumn and the mushrooms know it. There's been a chill in the air for the past week and a half. I've woken up to condensation on the inside of my windows. And at night when I let the dog out into the garden, I can feel the cold air catching at the back of my throat. So these are all signs of autumn that I look for. And as soon as I see them, I head to the woods because I know that these mushrooms will be feeling the same thing and they'll be coming out in great numbers. So when these mushrooms get going, they fruit in these great rings on the woodland floor. You can see it stretches out in that direction and then goes all the way out in that direction and then goes around in a huge ring. Look at you, absolutely gorgeous. So when we're walking in the woodland, you are looking for these big rings of mushrooms with this undulating cap surface on the top. That is what signifies to me that we may have a hedgehog fungus. We have a couple of different types of hedgehog fungus here in the UK, including one which is slightly darker and is called the terracotta hedgehog. So it's got more of a terracotta colour. And then you get paler ones like this here, but they are all edible and they all have one specific characteristic. If I turn over the mushroom and look under the cap, instead of gills like you get on your shop-bought mushroom, we have these spines. They are like spikes that hang down from the underside of the cap. That's why we call this the hedgehog fungus, because it has spikes like a hedgehog. The French actually call this mushroom pied de mouton because it can be cloven like this. So when the cap grows, it can be cloven and have an indentation on one side, which I guess looks like the foot of a sheep. Pied de mouton, sheep's foot, I guess. I think hedgehog fungus is a better name for it. Other mushrooms you may notice have blade-like gills under the cap, much like the mushrooms that we buy in the shop. And some also have sponge underneath the cap. So this is quite distinct in the way that it has spikes or spines. So that is why I say that this mushroom is great for you beginners out there, is because it is relatively safe. There are a couple of species in this genus in the UK, and all of them are edible. So you can go out and forage hedgehog fungi, and it's a really key and easy identifier. So if you find a mushroom growing from the ground that has a stem and a cap, and if you turn it over, it has teeth or spikes underneath the cap, then you have an edible hedgehog fungus. But the most important thing is, what do they actually taste like? This mushroom tastes mushroomy. There's no other way to describe it. So it is not one of those mushrooms which is really intense in flavour, but it can be used like most other mushrooms and is therefore incredibly versatile. I love the texture of this mushroom. So it is dense, it is snappable. Once you've scraped off all of those spines, you are left with this really firm mushroom flesh. And you can use it in anything that you really use mushrooms for. So it's really versatile in the kitchen. Weirder things that I like to do with it is to smoke it and then lacto ferment it. That is really, really good. I like to make a sort of mushroom shawarma out of it as well, because it holds up really well. It's just snapped. However, the little spines on the underside of this cap are not really good to cook with. They can make the texture of meals go a little bit gritty. They can make it look messy on the plate. So what I like to do is just brush them off when I'm in the woods. Now this does a few things. It means that they don't get sort of caught in the bottom of my foraging bag or foraging basket, which is a good thing because they're a nightmare to clean up and also to clean up off of other mushrooms. But it also makes them land on the forest floor, where if there's any viable spores, they might be able to start growing again. Sometimes what I do is I will walk somewhere else in the woods and then clean them there, and hopefully propagate a little bit of hedgehog fungus culture somewhere else in the woodland. So in years to come, I might come back and there may be more. And I'm sure if you think about it, I'm pretty sure that's how agriculture started. Beautiful. So when you find hedgehog fungus, you usually find quite a lot of them growing together, which is good because it means that you can take away a good meal. Remember to always harvest sustainably, only take what you need. So imagine a punnet of mushrooms that you might buy from the shop and how long that will sit in your fridge for, and then sort of extrapolate that out onto the mushrooms that you are foraging for. It is very easy to get excited. It is very easy to give in to unsavory human characteristics like greed. So go out, and even if there is lots of a thing, just pick what you need, because waste is one of the worst things in the world. I call this mushroom pace. Sort of slowly processing through the woodland. You always look a bit lost. There we go. So if you head out into your local woodland this week, try and find yourself some hedgehog fungi. They are everywhere at the moment. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe for more foraging videos from this beautiful landscape. Remember, if you want to know more about the wild food of the UK, you can sign up to come on one of my courses down here on the beautiful Isle of Wight, or for less than the price of a pint of beer, you can sign up to be a channel member here on YouTube. That supports me to make these videos and teach you everything that I've got stored up here. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, hit join. I think it's down below somewhere. Cool. This is my favourite time of year. My name is Joseph, this is Fieldstudy, and until next week, take care.